I've been studying quality of life for over 20 years now. Everybody has the right to a good quality of life, and that's why studying quality of life is so very important. People talk about it all the time. The question is, well, what do they mean by it? Quality of life is a very abstract term, and we want to know more about the precise things, the exact issues that people find important. The World Health Organization defines quality of life as an individual's perceptions of their position in life in the context of the culture and value systems in which they live, and in relation to their goals, expectations, standards and concerns. So it's a definition which puts culture at the very centre of the definition. What it seems to be suggesting is that culture is a lens through which we see the world, and culture influences the way that we report our quality of life. And so you would expect that people from different countries would report rather different sorts of things about their quality of life. But what's interesting about the research that I've been doing is that there is actually far more commonality between people from very diverse countries than there are differences. People from around the world talk about their physical health, their psychological state, their independence, being able to go out and be mobile. They talk about social relationships with their family and friends and their sex lives. They talk about the environment, their physical safety and security, their transport and their financial resources, and whether they have enough money to meet their needs. And lastly, and perhaps more importantly, their spiritual quality of life. And this is not just about religion, it's about whether they see awe and wonder in the environment, whether they are hopeful and optimistic people, whether they have inner strength, and whether they are peaceful and contented. In countries where there is less democracy, for example, people are acutely aware of their quality of life and how that is being affected by their restrictions of movement and not having enough to eat. We tend to take these things much more for granted in the developed world. The focus of my work has actually been in designing a series of questionnaires. The new ways of developing questionnaires are to actually ask the people who are going to use the questionnaire what sort of issues are important to them, and to tell us how to express those issues so that we can write them into the wording of the questionnaire, so that the questionnaire is much more meaningful. For example, in India, people attach a lot of importance to skin colour, and so we have to include local issues in our questionnaires when we're designing them. In Britain, people feel that one of the things that affects their quality of life is feeling fed up. Quality of life is a bit like an iceberg. Only 1/9 of it is really visible. That includes things like not being able to walk or groaning because you're in pain. But many aspects of quality of life are completely invisible and are only available when you actually ask someone about what their quality of life is like.
One of the things we've been doing recently at the University of Bath is looking at how we can use quality of life information on an individual basis, because we believe that they have a potential application to help GPs have more information in the ways that they treat their patients. Because if you want to provide a more rounded healthcare service, you really need to understand a patient's priorities, not just their immediate symptoms. And these questionnaires can help us to do this. But it won't just help GPs, it can help patients too, because if they have a better understanding of their own quality of life, it might help them in the ways that they manage their own illnesses and the way that they think about those illnesses.
It seems very human to want to improve your quality of life. People have been striving to do this for generations. What we're doing here is to try and understand better how this mechanism works, with the hope of improving people's lives.